Hi guys!
Hey!
We know that there are a lot of people who are wondering all the time about why we choose to live in America of all places and not in Sweden where I'm from, because you hear all the time, especially in the American news feeds on Facebook, I feel like you read all the time about how great the Swedish healthcare system is and everything.
Yeah.
You hear about everything, how nice it is in Sweden. And we know that people are wondering, why don't we just go there where things would be a little bit easier, maybe. We've actually been talking about this too, and been talking about this for a very, very long time. It wasn't until maybe like 2 months ago that we came up with an agreement that we both felt comfortable with about what we're gonna do. So we just figured we're gonna share a little bit about the pros and cons of living in both countries, because there isn't just cons and negative things about living in America.
Both countries have their solid points of being positive and negative.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're kind of torn a little bit, but as she said 2 months ago, we came to like an agreement. So this is going to be like a two-part video. Today we're going to be talking about why we're going to be living in America and the kind of pros that are here in this country versus Sweden. And then the second video will be kind of the benefits of living in Sweden.
Yeah, why we are and why we're not considering moving to Sweden, basically.
Yeah. Yes.
So here we go. One reason why we don't really feel excited about moving to Sweden is because we are in the risk of being separated again. And we've already been separated for 11 months when I had to go back to Sweden and he stayed here. And we felt that it was so bad that we swore to never ever 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 do that ever again.
Yeah. Who wants to be separated from their loved one for long extended periods of time? I mean, 8.5 thousand miles away from each other. We've been through enough of that, so.
Maybe we could visit each other, but that's not financially.
Yeah, money's tight.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. There's also the option of him coming to Sweden on a student visa, but that would be a lot more expensive, even if it's just for 1 semester, and we'll talk more about that later. And then there's also the option of us having a child in America first, and then moving to Sweden, everyone together, because they don't want to split because they don't want to split because they don't want to split. I can't say it. The Swedish government frown upon splitting up families, and that's a good thing. But the problem is that there would be one more person for me to financially support.
Oh, there's a bee. Ah.
Bye. That brings us to our second point, which is the financial support. So if for every person that I bring with me to Sweden, I have to financially support them. So the Swedish government has this demand that if you are going to bring someone into the country, then you have to have a certain amount of money with you or an income. So it's going to cover rent, and it's going to cover his daily expenses, and it's going to cover, you know, if we bring a child with us, we're going to have to cover that child's expenses. And there's specific rules, like specific numbers. There's another option of us saving up money before we move, like a lot of money to cover like our expenses and rent and everything for a year, but that would take a long time, and it doesn't sound too fun to spend that much money on a trip or moving. Oh, piggy.
Damn, look at all the bacon, dude.
Because of the financial support on Caroline's end, we would have to save up like 30 to 40 grand, like just to make that happen. Sounds like a lot of money, but it's, you know, between 6 to 12 months of expenses, you know, covering the cost of rent, both of our daily expenses, sending over both of each other's belongings over there. I mean, that's, you know, there's a lot to plan, there's a lot to save there. So.
Even just buying winter clothes in Sweden.
Yeah, and all that, you know, because I'm a Cali boy, so I have, you know, I have some jackets, but not to bear that kind of weather. So yeah, it would be kind of expensive for new attire for, you know, the weather over there.
Yeah, boots, clothes, like just everything.
So there also is this option of me going over there on a student visa, but that's about $6,000 per semester. So you gotta encounter with that, and you know.
It would be nice that we could do it together, but yeah, that is an extra amount of money.
Yeah.
That I mean, how are we supposed to save up all this money plus saving for retirement and everything else
and life for the next, you know, whatever until we retire. I mean.
The good news is that, you know, as much as Nick does not want to go back to school, if he did choose to do that, there are some fun classes in Sweden he can take in English that's like about Swedish culture and Viking classes.
You know, and I am open to that. You know, I haven't been one with school and stuff like that, but I haven't, you know, been in school for years, and especially if it's in a different country where she's from, you know, then I do have a high interest with that, you know, so that's not necessarily a really bad thing for me.
And you would probably make new friends too who just came to the country too.
Yeah.
Who wants to learn about Sweden.
Sure.
That's a good way to make friends.
Mm-hmm.
Here in America, I have a sponsor, but if I understand it correctly, that's not an option in Sweden, so all the money has to come from my income and our savings. Hold on. We would need to find a place to live, and that does not work the same way as it does in America. It's kind of like first come first kind of thing when it comes to renting houses and apartments, right? Like,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, like if, you know, the best offer gets the apartment, basically. And in Sweden, that's not how it works. You basically have to
You have to like put your name on a list, right? Like a waiting list?
And not just even one. There's like lists all over Sweden for like every little area in Sweden. So like if you want to move to Stockholm, which by the way, it's very hard to find a place to live in Stockholm. You can be on a waiting list for like 20 years there. But yeah, there are different, for like every little area in the cities, there are lists. So you have to think about where you want to live, and that might be a little hard for Nick since he's not really been all over Sweden, but I know better. And so then you have to wait for your turn, which can take like 3 to 5 years. And I'm on those lists, but I'm not very high up on that list in either of those cities. And we could rent like secondhand. I don't know, do you say that in America too?
I don't know. I don't know what you mean.
It's like you rent from the person who's renting the apartment.
Oh yeah, we have that here.
Okay. So we can do that. That would be a little easier, but then we would also have to find a place like that. Someone who's willing to take us in.
Yeah, roommates and stuff.
No, not even roommates. We can live alone.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. See, that's the beauty of Sweden, though. It's like we could actually have a place of our own. But we would have to find someone who's willing to, you know, take us in with all our cats, and we're actually not allowed to rent from, like, let's say if my parents allowed us to live with them, even though their place is actually big enough for us to move in there, we wouldn't be allowed. We need to have our own place. That's the rules. And the contract needs to be for at least, I think it's like a 2-year minimum, which not every landlord is willing to give you just like that. You know, in the beginning.
It's like a 2-year lease or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the beginning, it's like they just, you know, kind of want to try to see how things are going. You know, very few people are going to be like, yeah, here's a 2-year contract. We can just live here. I don't know if you're going to trash my apartment, but here you go. So that's the problem. Number 5, we are tired.
Yeah.
I know it seems like I've been in America for quite a while now, and we probably settled down, and it's all good, but the truth is that green card process was a very, very long, emotionally draining, financially draining process. I didn't get my green card until like, last summer?
Yeah.
Not that many months ago. So we kind of just want to rest right now. The last thing we want to do is just pack our bags and like save up all this money and like make the same big move, even bigger move actually, all the way back to Sweden.
Yeah.
I do wish we talked about this sooner. Like we just assumed that things would be easier in America, but now we're kind of like, we kind of wish that we had looked into moving to Sweden a little bit more. But that was also a very big thought for Nick because he's never even been out of the country. How is he gonna know how he would feel about living in Sweden? That's not easy.
I was there for 2 weeks, you know, to meet her family like 2 years ago, but that was 2 weeks, and I spent a lot of time like going place to place, but it was very short amounts of time, and I had a different perspective when I was there at that time. I was like
The tourist perspective.
the tourist perspective, meeting her family, getting to know where she came from. I didn't have that mindset of, you know, oh, am I gonna live here or can I live here? I wasn't even looking at that point like that. But I mean, there are little bits and pieces that I do pick out from, you know, when I was there, but definitely not enough to like make a decision right now.
Yes, and also I wanted to live in California like for so many years in my life, ever since I was like a teenager. Like, who doesn't want to live here? Like, I think most people have that dream of living in California. And now that I'm lucky enough to do that, like if I have to do that for a few more extra years, I'm not gonna really complain that much. So you're gonna cook food here for the first time?
Oh yeah.
All by yourself?
Exciting. In Sweden.
Yeah. How does that feel, huh?
Exhilarating.
We don't have a whole lot of time to make this decision because I have 2 courses left on my teaching degree that I need to get done, and if I don't get that done before the year 2023, my whole degree is gonna go down the drain. They're just gonna erase it, basically. And for those who don't know, I studied to become a preschool teacher in Sweden, and it was just gonna be a small break to go to America as an au pair. Then I was gonna come back and finish it all. But because I haven't finished it, if I'm gonna be able to support us in Sweden, then I have to have my degree, because you obviously get paid more money with a degree. And I have looked into finishing my degree here in America, but Sweden is, my Swedish school is very picky about what classes I take and what they approve and not approve. So my next option is actually to look into if I should just kind of start from scratch here and get a bachelor's degree done here, so that I can get that done and see if they're willing to hire me in Sweden instead with an American bachelor's degree that would allow us to stay here longer and not feel so pressured by this 2023 thing that we need to save up money for and move right now and go, go, go. Like, that's so stressful. Sorry guys, we get interrupted in the middle of talking. That's what happens when you have a lot of people living in one house and film in the kitchen.
Yeah, plus I was running late for work, so I had to go to work. So
this is the next day. What I was gonna say before we get interrupted was that I already have a big student loan to pay off in Sweden, so the last thing we want to do is to spend even more money on a degree for me.